Christmas every year is so special. Just for a season, things are slightly different, more festive, there's more celebrating and feasting, lots of beauty and soft light that glimmers amidst these dark, cool days. Every season has a kind of feeling, and Christmas in the winter has its own sort of feeling. As a family, we're still making our traditions by trying new things each year, and some are just naturally forming, which is so fun. And this year, it happened to be the time when we had a sunny day amidst a whole bunch of rainy days, and so we took to planting our large bag of garlic. This year I bought plenty of garlic wholesale from our natural food store instead of buying at the nursery, which I used to do every year, and it was so expensive. And I found that this year, just asking for a bulk of garlic from our natural food store, I was able to get it at a wholesale price, which was much cheaper than having bought it from nurseries in the years prior. Plus, we had ample garlic, so we could plant a whole bunch. I think we ended up planting about 350, and we still had enough bulbs left over that we'll be able to eat a garlic every single week until we have these garlics ready, hopefully late summer. Now, we love our new backyard, and I can't wait to get gardening, but it's a little bit early, and it's going to take some time for us to actually get the space ready with irrigation and new beds to plant in. And so for right now, we are just gardening in a garden space that looks like it was already made a garden from the previous owners. There was bricks packed all around, and it had a little bit of topsoil in it, so we just added a lot more fresh topsoil. And as we went along, we realized it probably would be better to have even a thicker amount of topsoil for the garlic, but also for whatever else we are going to plant here after the garlic. And thankfully, the former owners left some bricks exactly like these ones, which was perfectly enough to do another layer all the way around and layer in more topsoil to the second brick. So a nice thick amount of garden bed space. I planted the garlic about 4 inches apart from one another, and then each row 6 inches apart. As I went along, I used a 2x4 to help me keep my lines straight. And then my husband brought me a board of plywood to kneel on, which actually really helped compact the topsoil a little bit and make it easier to plant. In the past, I didn't really care so much about straight lines and spacing all that much, but I learned as the season went along, when things start getting chaotic and the garden really starts to boom, it's actually really nice to have some stability in tidy, straight lines and equal spacing where other plants can be transplanted into, and just some uniformity amidst all of the beautiful growing lusciousness that seems to be a little bit out of control and chaotic at some points in the summer. Now you might be thinking, this is super late to be planting garlic, and you are right, it is very late, but it's still a good time for us here because the ground has not frozen yet and we have very mild winters, so not all that difficult to be planting in December. Now sure, it would have been to our advantage to plant earlier, but we just moved in this month, and so this is sort of the soonest we could be planting, and the garlic is just going to be ready much later than other people's garlic that had already planted in October. So probably another 2 months of growing, hopefully for us, to get kind of the same size bulbs that other people will get earlier. And the bulbs just may not get as big as they would have if we had planted earlier in the season. Now we will feed the garlic, we will feed the garlic some compost later in the spring and then hopefully again in the summer to help that growing process. But our garlic is just going to be ready later than everybody else's. And we are happy with that. We're happy with that because for us the priority is just to have some garlic nonetheless. I also spent some time over Christmas just dreaming up what this garden space is going to look like in the rest of our yard, what to plant, when to start getting ready for starting seeds, and I cannot wait. But for now, in these winter months, I just spent this time learning a lot about gardening, remembering what I did last year, things I want to change up this year, and counting my seeds. But more of that coming up in future videos. For right now, we've got our garlic in and I'm so pleased. The rest of our Christmas, we cooked a nice family meal. We've been doing that over other holidays like Thanksgiving or Easter. And so Christmas this year, we decided to venture into making duck. I hope to make a video about the process soon because we consulted our chef friend who gave us some really nice tips and directions. And when I was searching on the internet for recipe directions, I found that nobody was giving explicit steps for making duck breast in a way that my friend directed us to make. And I'm really glad he did because I just kept thinking as we were making it that had he not given us these directions, we would have had some pretty fatty duck or just wouldn't have cooked all the way through. Like, I just found his tips were so vitally important and I'm not seeing people write these in recipes. So hopefully I'll be able to get something like that going in the next couple of weeks when we make another round of duck. I also made some gnocchi from our purple fingerling potatoes, which are just starting to sprout now, so we're using up as much as we can. I cooked the gnocchi in some leftover broth from a meal earlier this week, added some broccoli and kale for a little bit of greenery, and we just ate that with the duck, which was delicious. Well, thanks for following along, and I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas. And until the next video, cheers.